cannot be neglected by nobody, which the Saudi desperately want to neglect. And the Saudi fate will be decided by the growing problems in their relations with the other surrounding Gulf countries, which definitely some of them already show clear signs that they do not want to be drawn into the abyss that the Saudis are going to draw them into. So there are a lot of factors that will decide on the fate of and the future of the Saudi ruling regime, but I think we should not completely neglect the fact that there's a growing discontent among Saudis themselves. You have a Shia community, and don't forget Brother Nimr al-Nimr, whom they want to kill, to murder, better to say, and he's just a symbol. He's a symbol of many Saudi who do, and not only Shia, who do not agree with the ruling Al Saud family. And so this is also a thing which is definitely another aspect. And of course the economy is another aspect that I would like to add, because everybody thinks that Saudi Arabia is just a symbol for an endless stream of money, but in fact even they are getting at the end of this tunnel, since they are spending too much money for internal repression, growing number, which you can even see in statistics that are available. The war against Yemen is causing a hell of money, and also subsidizing their puppets, like in Bahrain, a completely unpopular regime that is directed against its own people and only survives because of support, financial, military, and other support from the Saudi. So this is getting more and more problematic on the economic side, and we shall see. I do not think that the Saudi Arabia of tomorrow will be the Saudi Arabia of today or yesterday. A real revolution in Saudi Arabia, inshallah.
Inshallah. Fatima, what can people and international entities and NGOs do about this disaster?
Well, I think they can demand accountability. I've never seen a government so unwilling to investigate the cause of so many deaths in their country. So you take the United States, for example, right? There was a recent incident with a college shooting, right? 17 people were affected directly. 10 of them were killed. 7 of them were injured, right? Just that alone, that event, you have 10 people dead, and there is a sweeping call for just changing the way that we do things, right? And then you take a look at Saudi Arabia, and you have, 700, 800 confirmed dead, with God knows how many actually dead, because there's still so many people missing. And it's like, they don't even care. They don't even care that their country, for the biggest Islamic event of the year, is not safe to to visit. It's not safe to go do your pilgrimage. You can't rely on the Saudis to even make the process of Hajj something that's less risky. They're not even willing to investigate how their actions affected the outcome of that day's events. And to me, I think that if the rest of the world demanded accountability, Saudi Arabia would have to at least respond. To this point, they haven't even done that, right? They've just kind of swept over it, swept it under the rug, and they've carried on with their, day-to-day, whatever it is they do. But I think that you would have to have, you're going to get, certain countries, certain groups are going to demand those types of answers, right? There's certain groups that already are, right? I mean, we're here, we're discussing it. I know that there's a lot of countries. I know the supreme leader in Iran gave a speech, and he continues to demand that the Saudis take responsibility, that they turn over the bodies, etc., etc. So you have some people that are obviously willing to stand up and say, hey, you can't do that, you can't do this is not okay. But an overwhelming majority, especially in the West and in Europe, that just, they don't seem to care. This is just another piece of news that they can forget about the next day, and it's not something. The Muslim lives don't really, they're not as important. They don't stay, when Muslims die, especially in a country like Saudi Arabia, it's not something that's at the front of the mind. It's not something that they view as problematic, I guess you could say.
Thank you. I don't know how much you are aware of this news, but as Fatima mentioned, the leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, gave a speech a few days ago and warned Saudi Arabia that if they disrespect to any of the bodies of the Iranian martyrs, Iran's answer would be harsh. And from that day, Saudi behavior changed. Mohammed is going to talk about this, and he's prepared something to tell you. Mr. Nosrati?
hello. خب بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. من راجع به این بحثی که الان مطرح شد، بحث صحبت‌های رهبری در رابطه با حادثه منا، چند تا نکته رو می‌خواستم مزاحمتون بشم. ما دیدیم که عربستان در روزهای اول هیچ توجهی به مسئولیتش در قبال فاجعه منا نداشت.
We saw that Saudi Arabia in the beginning days, they didn't pay attention to their responsibilities about this tragedy, about the Mina tragedy.
و به جای اینکه دنبال مسئولیتش و دنبال مقصر باشه، حاجیان رو مقصر اعلام کرد و حتی کسانی که پیگیر حقوقشون بودن و پیگیر وضعیت حاجیان قربانی شده تو منا بودن رو به سیاسی کاری متهم کرد.
And instead of going to find the real responsible for this event, they condemned the Hajis who were doing their Hajj rituals. And they even condemned those who were going to find their rights and going to take the rights over this event.
حتی وزیر خارجه عربستان هم کار رو تا جایی پیش برد که گفت ایران شایستگی اظهار نظر و پیگیری امورش رو در رابطه با حادثه منا نداره.
And even the Saudi foreign minister said that Iran does not have the right to speak about this event.
و ایران رو متهم کرد به حمایت از تروریسم و سایر اتهاماتی که توی سالهای اخیر داره وارد میکنه.
And they said Iran is supporting terrorism and all the same things that they were saying about Iran during these years.
و ما میدونیم که عربستان بی‌مسئولیتش در حدی بود که بسیاری از حاجیان در حالی که مجروح و بیهوش بودن به سردخانه‌ها منتقل شدن و جان دادن.
The Saudi neglecting was so much that so many Hajis that were alive but they were injured were taken to places that they died after that.
و شمار قربانیان فاجعه منا هم به شدت کم اعلام میشد و شاید 1/10 آمار واقعی.
And they didn't announce the real number of victims, and they maybe sometimes they announced the 1/10 of the real death toll.
و وقتی وضعیت به این منوال پیش رفت، دیدیم که رهبر انقلاب اسلامی ما با یک تهدید به موقع گفتمان رو عوض کرد.
But when it was like that, the Iranian leader warned Saudi Arabia and changed the situation.
و دیدیم که طی چند روز اخیر مسئولین سعودی خودشون درخواست جلسه دادن با مسئولین ایرانی و پیگیر وضعیت حجاج بودن و دیدیم که تعداد زیاد از حجاج هم به ایران برگشتن.
We saw that during the previous days, Saudi authorities and Saudi officials was willing to talk about this event and wanted to negotiate about the event, and so many Hajjis came back to Iran.
حالا من میخوام این مسئله رو تعمیم بدم به کل بازی که در طی سالهای اخیر در منطقه رخ داده.
I want to talk about the whole